Hey moms, welcome to another episode of the Life Unboxed blog show, where we talk about all things momtrepreneur, from raising your kids to running a business, and the most important one, keeping your sanity. I am Jody the mom from lifeunboxed.blog. Be sure to visit lifeunboxed.blog and download your free Mom Boss 2.0 workbook. So this workbook teaches you how to start a business without a niche. And yes, it can be done. If you want to be a rebel mom and break all the rules, then this workbook is for you. And thank you to all of my supporters who've bought me coffee at ko-fi.com/lifeunboxedblog. Your support helps me give you great content that is full of substance, no fluff here. And you don't have to create an account to buy me a coffee. You just hit donate and the site will process it. And I will leave the link in the pinned comments below. Now let's get into the show. I have a mom confession to make to you. Here it goes. I love to learn. I love research and the process of gathering and managing information. I have a great idea for a book, but I confess I am more excited about doing the research than I am about writing the book. At this point, anyway. And it's a fiction book. It's not my other book. My other book that I'm writing for moms, I have started writing it. So it is totally possible for me to stay in research mode and never write a line of the manuscript. And honestly, I would be totally happy with this outcome. So tumbling down that rabbit hole of information is one of my favorite things to do. Yes, imagine Alice in Wonderland, except the hole that she falls into is nothing but research and information. It is a trap that I am more than willing to fall into. The problem with gathering and managing information is that you feel like you're making progress in your business or with a blog without actually doing the things to move it forward. Researching and managing information is like a warm, fuzzy blanket. It is comfortable and soothing. It makes you feel like you're doing something without actually doing the hard part. Putting yourself out there to see if you will succeed or fail. And that is really the hard part. You need to do research, okay? If you don't want to launch a half-baked product, then you need to do your research. You need to gather information before you dive headlong into something. Not doing research is almost a guarantee to fail. Have you ever been part of a project or seen a project where the research just wasn't done? Or let me rephrase that, the right research wasn't done. If it didn't fail, then everyone was running around without a purpose. It was incredibly high pressure to just get it done, and late nights trying to do just that. The end result is usually a burnt out and resentful team. May have been there a few times. This is not the way to launch a business. Please don't do this. Don't do it half-baked. If you want to launch a successful work from home business, then it takes careful planning. You need to figure out the services you offer, what your client needs, and how to start. And of course, I have shows on all of these topics for you, and I will definitely leave the links below. Because if you're just starting out, this is a great place to start. So how do you know when you're falling into this insidious trap of managing information? So, paralysis by analysis. This is a common statement. I'm sure you've heard it before, and it happens. You can get so caught in this trap and you can't figure out how to move forward. You just keep going down that rabbit hole again. So, of more information and wanting to know more and learning new things. But if you need the cure, then the first place to start is to recognize the signs and symptoms. Number 1, you feel like you are accomplishing tasks. I can't talk. It's kind of a weird word, actually. Tasks. Got a lot of in there. Anyway, so yes, you are accomplishing tasks by gathering and managing information. It is important. Again, going back to you need to research before you start so you don't launch something that's half-baked. You need to do this. But when it is all you're doing, and when there's just one more class to take, and then another, because there always is, you are checking items off your to-do list, but you aren't doing the task of actually launching your business. So it leaves you feeling accomplished without actually putting anything out for the world to see. That's kind of a comfortable place to be. Number 2, learning mode is comfortable because there's no risk of failure. This is a big one because none of us want to fail. Let's just talk about that elephant in the room. Nobody wants to fail. And being in learning mode means you're still checking things off your to-do list again, and you still get that sense of accomplishment, but there isn't a risk of failure when you're just gathering information. Trust me, no one has failed by just learning. Nobody. If you know somebody who's failed by just learning, let me know. When you change to launch mode, the risk of failure is gigantic. And there's no secret formula to success, even though I did write about it and did a show on it. So always both. So I'll leave the link below for you. We know that 50% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. So there is risk to launching. If you never launch, but stay in learning mode, you'll be an expert in business without ever taking that risk and actually starting one. So there's a quote from Theodore Roosevelt that I really want to share with you, and he's really quite a quotable person. Far better it is to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy much nor suffer much because they live in the gray twilight that knows neither victory nor defeat. So if you just stay in learning mode, it's kind of the gray twilight that knows neither victory nor defeat. Ouch! Number 3, you feel like you need to become more of an expert. All right, there's always something more to learn. The one thing we can be confident of when it comes to learning is that the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. Learning is an infinite process without an end in sight. So there's always more to learn. As you are researching and managing information, just remember there's always something more to learn, and you will never reach the end of what you can learn. Just reach a place where you are confident in your knowledge, even if there's still one more class to take. Number 4, learning mode is not stressful. Seriously, if you are an information junkie, and I am, then there's nothing stressful about managing information. You love it. This is the best place for you to be learning and adding to your library of knowledge. You don't need to worry about how many Instagram or Facebook followers you have or don't have. There is no stress over watch time on YouTube, so you can start monetizing and making some money for your efforts, or how many downloads you had on your podcast this week and it dropped compared to last week. None of that stress is happening when you are in learning mode. So can I go back to research mode, please? Please, can I? Number 5, it is perfect for introverts. Yes, introverts of the world unite. Research is the best thing that could happen to us. We don't need to talk to people, and we can bury our heads in a book. So do I even need to say more, my fellow introverts? The trap of information gathering is so seductive for introverts. We can retreat inside of ourselves and never come back out. Yeah, sounds kind of nice to me. All right, so those were the signs and symptoms. So how do you know when it's time to move from managing information to launch? Now, this can be hard to recognize because there really isn't any hard or fast rule. And it is blurred by how much more you can learn. So we've already established there's always going to be more to learn. You're never going to stop learning. So just establish that now in your mind that there will always be more to learn. You will never know everything or learn everything before you launch. And yes, I hate this too. But you need to reach a point where it is time to take the next step. You need to put yourself out there and keep learning and growing. So when I was working to launch this blog, I was complaining to my husband about all the things I don't know. He looked at me with his eyes so full of wisdom and said, just start writing content. You have enough information. You know what you need to do. So now you need to start. It was the jolt I needed. It really was. I had spent months reading and taking classes and trying to get as much info as I could. So, and the whole point was I wanted to cut that. This is how long it takes for a successful blog. I wanted to cut that time down. So far that hasn't worked. Okay. Launching can be a heart-stopping moment for all of us, but also an exciting one. You officially launched. Now for all the emotional stages that come with starting a blog or a business. And yes, I have a show for that. So how do you recognize when it's time to shift gears from research mode to launch mode? I have 3 for you. Number 1, you can't find any more material to read. Yes, if you've read all the books and watched all the classes and the search for good information is very difficult, then this is a sure sign that it is time to move from managing information to launching your great idea. It really is. Number 2, you can make a very detailed to-do list. So ask yourself, how long is your to-do list? If it is really long and detailed, then you need to start. This is another sure sign that it is time to launch your great idea. Because here's the thing. You need to start somewhere. So if the list is really long, then it is time to start working on it. And I don't mean long with classes or books to read. I mean long with actionable to-do items. Yes, you can still read and learn, but you need to get started on your list. So regardless of the business you are starting, creating a website should be at the top of your list. And here are some resources to get you started. Yes, you have another class, guys. So I do have a bunch of shows on starting a website or creating a website and building a website and what you should do before you start. Because I think it's one of the most neglected things that momtrepreneurs do. And so I want you to have all the tools you need to create a really amazing website and to also know how to update it, work on it, add content, all those things, completely overhaul it if you want. So I have tons of resources. Another class, guys. So I'm going to leave all those links in the description below. So you can start working your way through it. And I will say this, and this is an affiliate that I'm a part of. The Divi theme is my favorite theme to use. I've been using it since I started. I've looked at other page builders and I have decided I'm just going to stick with Divi. I'm not even going to bother learning any of these other ones because it really does have everything I need for clients, for my own businesses, for my own blog, all that kind of stuff. So, like I said, all of the resources for building a website are based on the Divi theme. So I will leave my affiliate link in the description below. And if you use it, I really appreciate it. It's a great way. It's another great way to support the channel and you get an amazing product as well. So number 3, people around you are telling you to start. So this is the final sure sign you need to launch. If those closest to you are telling you it is time, then listen. They know you the best and know your personality. If they are telling you to launch, then do it. All right, my friends. After reading this list, do you think you need to launch or is there still a bit more research to do? Honestly answer the questions and see where you're at. I know. Like I said, I love just sitting and researching and reading because I do feel like I am accomplishing a lot of stuff without actually putting myself out there. So, are you ready? Is it time to move from managing information to launch? And if you're just starting out and need a place to begin your research, then hop on over to lifeunboxed.blog and download the 20-page workbook. It is free. You just need to sign up and it's right there on the homepage. And you will be able to start working through how you can launch a business without a niche. And yes, it can be done because I've done it successfully. So all of my experience I've put into a 20-page workbook because my goal with everything that I do is to really provide substance. So you will get a lot of substance with it. I am so glad you joined me today. If you want to help spread the word, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. You can listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Remember to check out the Life Unboxed store for all of your Mom Boss merch. You can support the show with coffee. Visit Ko-fi, that's ko-fi.com/Life Unboxed blog to buy this tired mama, I really am, a cup of joe. And for more great momtrepreneur content, follow Life Unboxed on social media or check out lifeunboxed.blog. Be sure to share the podcast and video with your friends. And I will see you in the next show.